heavy rain, thunderstorms, maybe tornadoes swept across central Mississippi today.
Yeah, this is the same storm system that's threatening the metro area right now. The town of McCool, Mississippi, sustained damage that appeared to have been caused by a tornado. Several homes there were destroyed, vehicles were tossed about, and trees were snapped.
Same line of storms also moved through Alabama and the town of Sulligent, which is near the Mississippi line. The storm spawned a possible tornado there. 2 mobile homes were destroyed. The wind lifted one of them right off its foundation. Of course, here in Metro Atlanta, we are the happy and recent recipient of some much-needed rain. Of course, it's not going to be enough to quench the drought, but it will help.
Yes, it will. We need a steady, long soaking of it, though. 11 Alive's Elaine Reyes is in Cobb County tonight. She spoke with an expert to get some answers about what this rain that we're getting is doing for our drought. Elaine?
Well, it's making a slight dent. We would actually need weeks and weeks of steady rain, just like the kind we're getting right now. It's not enough, but every little bit helps.
Every rain is a good rain right now.
The past few weeks, the metro area's enjoyed a healthy helping of rain. But according to Assistant State Climatologist Pam Knox, the drought is far from over.
Every time it rains, I get phone calls from somebody saying, is the drought over? It rained, is the drought over? Well, you know, drought takes months and months to build up, and it's not going to go away with any one rain event. Even if we get a tropical storm, which of course we're not going to get this time of year.
Knox sees a more normal winter weather pattern for Georgia. A high-pressure system that sat over the state for months has broken down, allowing the rains to move right across.
I think it's a great sign. We can hope for lots more rainy days. You know, everybody likes to see the sun. They like to go outside and enjoy the nice weather, but boy, that rain is what we need. And you got to enjoy the rainy days too.
And they're certainly doing that here in Cobb County. We've seen some moderate rain for the last 2 hours. The temperatures have dropped. A couple of flashes of lightning, but otherwise everything's okay. Reporting live from Cobb County, Elaine Reyes, 11 Alive News.
All right, thanks, Elaine. Be sure to stay with 11 Alive News for any breaking weather details. You can also log on to 11alive.com for storm updates, as well as information on weather-related road closures.
We're just hours away from tomorrow's memorial service for Meredith Emerson. The 24-year-old was kidnapped New Year's Day and murdered days later. Tomorrow, the focus will shift, at least for a while, from her brutal death to the life she led. 11 Alive's Blair Meeks joins us live from Athens, where the service is set to take place. Blair?
Yes, Central Presbyterian Church here in Athens. The sanctuary here holds 350 to 400 people if you include standing room. They are expecting more than that. And if you talk with people who knew Meredith, you understand why. For almost 2 years, Meredith Emerson studied martial arts here with Kim Bloomrich as one of her instructors. Her personality and work ethic created an admiration that will not fade.
Boundless energy, enthusiasm, spirit. She had a great positive attitude. She never gave up, and she was always striving to improve herself.
Intellectually gifted, too. In the French department at Georgia, where she was an honors student, they remember more than her success in the classroom.
She just loved life so much. She was just the kind of person you just felt happy when you were around her. She was just so enthusiastic.
While attending UGA, she went to church here, where they're holding the memorial service. To the pastor, Meredith stands out after several years away.
Meredith lived her life in a way that was enthusiastic and positive. She was making a difference in the world, in the life of her friends.
There are people out in the world who are truly wonderful, incredible people who touch the lives of many others, and that we should all strive to be that sort of person. That's the sort of person that Meredith was.
Now, that service is expected to start at 2 o'clock, and there will be arrangements made for overflow. Live in Athens, Blair Meeks, 11 Alive News tonight.
Blair, thank you very much. Again, here are the details. A memorial service for Meredith Emerson tomorrow at 2 at Central Presbyterian Church on Alps Road in Athens. The service is open if you would like to go. Of course, we're going to continue to follow the developing story. We'll bring you all the latest information. You can also go to 11alive.com for more.
Now, we've received several calls from viewers about the fate of Gary Hilton's dog, Dandy. We can report to you tonight that the dog remains at a DeKalb County Animal Control Shelter. Officials there tell us that Dandy will soon be moved to a facility in Dawson County. The GBI says Hilton's dog is part of an active investigation. There's no word on when Dandy will be up for adoption. Well, tonight we hear from Hilton's former employer. Gary Hilton reached out to his former boss over the phone while GBI agents say he held Meredith Emerson tied up in his van. Business owner John Tabor may know Hilton better than anyone. 11 Alive's Duffy Dixon has that part of the story.
As the GBI works on a timeline of where suspected killer Gary Hilton has been for the last few months, we now know where he worked on and off for the past 10 years, a siding company called Insulated Wall Systems. We spoke with the owner, John Tabor, over the phone.
I hadn't heard anything from him since last summer, so it was completely unexpected.
He's talking about the phone call Hilton made Thursday afternoon from this phone at a Huddle House in Pickens County. The GBI believes 24-year-old Meredith Emerson was still alive and tied up inside his van in the parking lot.
He said he was ready to come back to work. He apologized for the problems he'd caused in the past.
What Hilton didn't know is that Tabor had already heard about the missing hiker and the initial description of a scraggly elderly man seen talking to her on Blood Mountain.
He had no idea that I had already been in contact with the GBI and local authorities up in, I guess that's Union County, earlier in the day. I had actually identified him and given them all the information I had about him, his vehicle, his tag.
As far as what work Hilton performed, Tabor says it was marketing. But it's a business relationship that appears to be far deeper than telesales. Filed real estate documents, including quitclaim deeds and deeds to secure debts, show the signed name Gary Hilton as a witness next to John Tabor, president of Insulated Wall Systems. Whatever his duties, Tabor says he never suspected to see his on and off again employee charged with murdering a young hiker.
I've done everything I can to bring this to a conclusion.
We should note that our interview with Mr. Tabor was brief, about 2 minutes long, in part because he says the GBI has asked him to steer clear from discussing details of the case. In the newsroom, Duffy Dixon, 11 Alive News tonight.
Well, it was a delicate balancing act for a rescue crew high above Buckhead today. Atlanta firefighters had to rescue a crane operator who passed out in the crane's cab high above the city. It happened at a construction site on Peachtree Dunwoody Road. The man was able to walk with assistance to where firefighters were waiting. But here's the scary part. Firefighters had to lower him onto a stretcher over the side of the crane and then down to the ground where paramedics were standing by. The worker was taken to Grady Hospital. No word tonight on why he passed out, nor on his condition.
Rising unemployment, a slump in sales, increasing gas prices, the mortgage crisis, all have analysts whispering the R word, recession. As NBC's Tracy Potts tells us, many are wondering if that is the direction the U.S. is headed in now. And if so, what does that mean for your family?
Ask Americans what they think about the economy.
I think it stinks.
And you'll find many people are already struggling.
I couldn't afford anything for Christmas this year.
Now, some analysts predict we may be headed into a recession.
The reasons have been accumulating for some time. They are principally evidence that the labor market has been deteriorating.
The signs are many. Oil prices, unemployment, foreclosures are up. Holiday sales were weaker than expected. The Fed has already cut interest rates twice to help ease the mortgage crisis, but may have to do more.
We stand ready to take substantive additional action as needed to support growth.
So what would a recession mean to you?
People have been struggling to get by. And so when you have a recession thrown on top of that, it's going to make their pocketbook feel even thinner.
It's an issue on the campaign trail.
We have to make tax cuts permanent.
Who should not be competing with their teenagers for $7 an hour jobs at the local Walmart.
What to do? Some economic experts recommend targeted temporary tax cuts.
That's the best way to get money into people's pockets to spend immediately.
It's an idea President Bush is exploring as his administration works on plans to stimulate the economy. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
The president says he's going to announce those plans around the time of his State of the Union address. That's coming up at the end of this month.
An autopsy has failed to determine the exact cause of death of the mother of rapper Kanye West. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office says that the reason for Donda West's death after surgery could not be determined. The office also said there were no signs of problems with the surgery she had or the anesthesia, though the coroner says conditions after her surgery may have played a part in her death.
The multiple post-operative factors could have played a role in the death, but we cannot determine exactly which of those, if any, actually did.
So can you determine if it was an accident or not?
We've ruled it as undetermined.
Is that different than accident?
Yeah, we have accident, natural, undetermined.
Donda West died November 10th, just one day after undergoing cosmetic surgery.
Well, apparently these guys in Wisconsin really want Hannah Montana tickets. They want them pretty badly. Take a look. Oh, it's one of them radio deals. Take a look. Several dads dressed in what the teen pop star might wear just to win concert tickets for their kids. Don't want to let your daughter down. The dads were decked out in skirts, cute socks, and eye makeup. They even had to hold the microphone. They had to pose that way. The last dad posing wins. To the tickets to Sunday's sold-out show, the last dad managed to make it 8 hours to win the tickets.
You know, those girls are never going to hit the end of it. You owe me.
You owe me, Dad. You only made it 6.5 hours.